Hello everyone, you've been muted by default when you enter the meeting. This is our fourth session of the AI series. Hope you are all doing well. You can feel free to take notes and ask questions at the end of the session. Doctor, can we start?
Yes, of course. Welcome, everybody. This is our fourth session. We are going to talk about Anaconda and environments in this session. In the beginning of this session, I'm going for the poll results that you have, Chris.
Yes, Alyssa, please can you share the screen?
Yes, sure.
Of the results? Okay, so as you have noticed, the subject of this meeting is Anaconda, and we asked a question: do you know any Python distributions other than Anaconda? As you can see, 71% do not know any other distributions, and only 29% know other ones. Someone suggested that he uses Spider, and someone else said that we can create virtual environments using pip and Venv, but he prefers Anaconda.
Thank you, Chris, for sharing the poll results.
Okay, we can continue with we can start with the presentation.
Yes. So and here we are going to talk about Anaconda. We're going to talk about the environments. There's a long list of possible development softwares. The Anaconda is very well known. So this is why we are going for Anaconda, and we are going to see why it is interesting to work with Anaconda. It doesn't by any means mean it is the only software that we can use. But here we're going to talk about Anaconda, a little bit of difference between Anaconda and miniconda. We're going to see the Anaconda navigator. We're going to see how to create an environment and how to install the libraries within the environments inside Anaconda. So Anaconda is an open source, so it is free and everybody can use it. This is one of the advantages it has. And inside it, we can create an environment and create Python inside. So download Python within an environment inside Anaconda. So we have in here, it has scientific computing, like using for data science, machine learning, other applications besides machine learning, like predictive analysis. So in here we have the link for Anaconda. This is where we can download the software. Anaconda is a large file, so some people would have a hard time downloading it. It's like 600 mega. So this is why we could use miniconda. If you are a beginner, you'd rather go for the big file. So for the whole Anaconda, it has all the libraries that you would use, and it has all the resources that you need. If you don't want or cannot on your computer download the whole thing, you can go for the minimized version. It downloads the basics, and then you can add the libraries, only those that you are going to need. So this is miniconda. You download only what is necessary, and you add manually, you add all the other parts that you are going to need. But you need to be a little bit more professional to use it. So in Anaconda, you have an Anaconda navigator and Anaconda prompt. The prompt looks like the C prompt if you are if you know how to work with MS-DOS and know how to work on a prompt, you could feel that it is better to go for Anaconda front than the whole thing, the whole navigator. The navigator is something that looks like a window and you can easily move around, you can read them, you don't have to memorize anything. Therefore, you could prefer as a beginner go for Anaconda navigator. So this is the Anaconda navigator. So once you open the Anaconda navigator, you have a whole window. You have in here the home. This is where you are going to see the environment that you are in. In here we are at the base environment, the root environment. So when you create Anaconda, you are going to have one basic environment already created for you. And in here you have all the softwares that you can use, the IDEs, to develop the programs that you have. So Spider is within Anaconda. Spider is a software, just like Python is a software, but I can access it and access the version that I need from within the Anaconda environment. So once I download an environment, inside the environment, I am going to create it for one Python version. And once I open my environment, I can, from in here, launch Spider or Jupyter or any other development environment that I am accounted to work with. If it is not downloaded, instead of the tab here, launch, is going to be installed. So you can install it, but you will have to install a version for every environment that you create. So if Spider, for example, is downloaded in the base environment and you are going to create your own environment, let's call it my environment, I will not have it available in my environment. I'll have to re-download it, reinstall it. So what is a Python environment in Anaconda and why is it useful? Python is also a free software and Anaconda is a free software. So when Python is a free software, they do not create compatible versions. And that's a very big problem. I already talked about it last time. If I have a software that, if I have a Python program that I developed for Python 2 in particular, and I want to work with Python 3 now, I cannot use the same program. I have to update my program. So they are not cross-compatible, not even the new versions accept the older versions as other softwares usually do. So if I have two different kinds of programs or two different projects, and one I'm working with Python 3.6 and the other one I need Python 3.7, if I am working on one computer, I can download one version of Python. And if I want to save my files, if I don't create an environment for each version of Python, these programs are going to be somehow lost within the files on the computer. This is why creating an environment when you are working with more than one Python version is essential. The environment is going to connect the programs that you have developed with the Python version that you want them to function with. And all the libraries that you want are going to be downloaded in the same environment. So you are going to create literally an environment for your program. And this is, I repeat, it is necessary because the versions of Python are not cross-compatible. So if I develop one full project and I'm working with Python 3.5 and I want to develop another new project in a different version of Python, I can just create a new environment and I will not have anything that is not working. I will still have my older project functioning and my new project will function with the new libraries, because the libraries will be compatible sometimes either with the first version or with the second version. So this is the importance of environments. So if I go to the environment tab, in here I can see that I have several environments that are already created. First, I was in the first tab, in the home tab. It just shows me the name of the environment and allows me to call the development, the IDE that I want to use to write my program or to test my program. In the environment in here, I'm going to see the environment in here, the base root is active. And within it, I have the list of libraries that are in here installed. I can see the list of the libraries that are not installed, and I can, from here, download a package that I would need for my program. So I have in here other environments that I have already created, and each one of them will have a list of libraries that are installed within the environment itself. So if I want to create a new environment, I just go in here. And I create an environment, and I choose the version of Python that I would need. To install a library inside the environment, I will either go graphically, or I will go for the prompt, and I activate the environment, and then I go either pip install or conda install, and I install the library I want. If I am in the navigator, so in here I have the prompt, I can open it from here, and the navigator, I can open it from this icon. So if I have I'm back here in the base environment, I go and choose the list of not installed libraries. For example, in here, I'm choosing TensorFlow. So when I choose TensorFlow, it allows me to apply, therefore, download the library. So I just choose the name of the library and give me the version as well. And here it's TensorFlow 2.1. So this is for Anaconda and environments and how to open and download an environment. Do you have any questions on these?
Yes, doctor, I have.
Yes.
First of all, good evening. Thank you for the workshop. And for my question, last week I tried to install Anaconda, but I had an error, so I tried to uninstall it and reinstall it. And now I have a problem using pandas on it, or installing any pip module on it. So how could I basically, what is the reason? What did cause this?
I didn't really understand what happened. Do you have Anaconda now installed or not?
I do have, but every time that I open the Anaconda console and try to import a pip module, it's not importing.
Did you try conda install?
I did.
Well, from here, I cannot help you with it. I will have to either see the computer. You already said that you removed it and downloaded it again. So this is usually what we would do if we have an error. And once you have a slow connection, sometimes it downloads and tells you it has downloaded, but it downloads wrong. An option that you have right now is that you have a very fast computer connection, internet connection at the university. You can try and go there and download it. Downloads very fast and it should work. Maybe you have to try that. You do have access to university. It's opening the Mondays and Thursdays for sure. I don't know if it's opening every day, but I can manage an internet connection for you. You can talk later.
Oh, okay. Thank you then.
Okay. If you don't have any questions, and since we have time, I can open the Anaconda version and explain a little bit more about the environments that we have.
Yes,
Anybody has any
great.
questions? Anybody has any questions first?
So probably not.
Yeah, I'm putting my version. I'm getting out of this to.
Yes, by the time Dr. Nawal opens our second section of this session, I would highly recommend that you guys enable notifications for all our emails so that you don't miss anything. As you can see, our poll results are very minimal. We have only 7 participants who replied out of 20 registrations. So please make sure you do that. I will be sharing right now in the chats our Instagram and Facebook and YouTube links. Make sure you follow us there so you don't miss anything.
Well, since Anaconda is a large program, it's still opening. I'm waiting.
Would anyone like to request events after this series ends? Because we also have our feedback polls every event. After every session, we are sending a survey for the feedback, and we have few replies to that. So maybe you can share with us in the chats right now.
Can I proceed?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so here we are in the Anaconda Navigator window. As I was explaining, in here we have the list of the different environments. Once we move to another environment, you are going to see it also takes time to move to another environment because it is going to activate all the functions, all the libraries that will be in the other environment. In here we have programs that are already installed, so you can simply launch them. You have other programs that have not been installed, so once you want to use it, you install it once, of course, and you're going to use it the other times. And here we have the list of the environments. So if I go, for example, to my image processing environment and I want to check, so I'm switching environments. So if I want to check in here if there is a certain library that has been installed or I want to check its version, I will go in here to the search. Again, it's still activating my other environment. So in here, I will be putting the name of the library and I will check all the details of the library. Let's check TensorFlow. So once I try TensorFlow, I have TensorFlow and I have different files or libraries within TensorFlow, including Keras. These, I'm insisting on these two because we are going to see them on the next session. So in here you have a list that could be all the possible programs. In here we have all the possible programs or libraries that are related to TensorFlow. And as you see, we have in here different libraries that are not installed, and the ones that are installed are in green. For example, we have in here things that are related to GPU. We haven't talked a lot about GPU. GPU are the advanced computers, and usually they are desktops with an advanced visual card. It's called GPU because it has a processor inside it, and it increases the rate of the execution of the programs, because it divides the program into different sub-programs and gives every processor a part of the program to execute, and then binds back the work. This is especially necessary when we have a lot of data and we have very large files. So the software that manages the GPU is called CUDA program. And here you can just download the version of Keras and the version of TensorFlow that are GPU. Here is TensorFlow GPU, and CUDA develops within these. Yes, so it's already downloaded inside, so you don't have to program and manage how to develop and how the GPU should work with the program. It is within here, just when you download this different version. But you only download it when you have a program with a GPU card inside. So if I go back in here to the first tab, if you see, you have a different window because you are going to have the applications that are on the image processing environment. And in here we have Spider, of course, because I work on it. You have Jupyter, you have different tabs. And here, this is, if I go in here to the prompt, so I'm opening the prompt from here. I can also open a window. The prompt, this is, again, is going to open a black window where I can write the functions. Can you see my new window, or do I have to share it?
Oh, we can't see the new window yet.
We can.
Is it okay now?
Yes, yes, now we can.
So if you are used a little bit to the DOS prompt, this looks a lot like the DOS prompt. But in here, we are not on MS-DOS, so we're not on the Windows. In here, we are within the environment. So if you look in here, you can see the environment name. And you can go in here, you can use the DOS function. CD is for change directory. I can go and open a program or run a program from here. So if I say Python, it is going to tell me the Python version that it is 3.7.6. So the environment, which is image processing environment, is working under a Python 3.7.6 version. And in here, it already opened a Python, so I can work in Python. So if I give it any Python instruction, it's going to develop it, if it's going to do it. So if I want to go back, I can always exit. And here I can usually when we are under Anaconda, it's preferable to go with Conda installed for the programs. In here, I can go Conda activate the base environment. So I can move from one environment to the other in here. As you can see, it moved much faster than when I was on the navigator. So this is why I told you, if you are advanced in programming, you'd rather not go for the navigator because it is slower, but you can see everything on a window. So in here, you have to know the instructions to use them. And I'll not develop a lot in here because I don't have any exercises now. We are going to see exercises in the later sessions. Okay, going back to back on the Anaconda Navigator screen, I can tell you here that you have some links to the cloud. So you have in here blogs, so you can have always blogs and conversations and places to ask questions when you have any problems. You can always go to the internet. You have a lot of sites that that help you develop your programs.
Doctor, is this
always,
something
course,
where we need to download? We can't work on this without downloading the program, right?
Of course, yes. In here, we are saying how to work with the environment. You have to download Anaconda to your computer, and every time you are downloading any of these libraries, you have to download it. So whenever you choose one of the libraries and it tells you to apply, it means that you are downloading a new library, and all of these libraries are heavy. They are large. Don't usually have very small packages. But the method we are going to work on, not next week, the following week, is going to be on the internet. So when we are going to open a website, and on the website it already has Jupyter installed, and we are going to work over there. It's okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so for this session, you do not need to download these versions, but if you really want to work with Python, whatever you have on the websites is just for the examples that they already have implemented. So they implement their own exercises, and you could develop or test maybe some small functions on the Google Colab, but you cannot develop a program, you cannot write a project if you don't have a system that is, or programs that are already installed on your computer. So the idea is, I'm telling you what to do if you want to develop your own programs. And the shortest method, or the simplest method, is to download Anaconda, create an environment, and then go choose your own program, your own IDE that you prefer working with, and then develop within it. Because if you move in a different way, it's going to take you a lot of time to get to know how to put your hands on the method, how to develop. So if you start working in one version, you download a library. Usually what happens when for example, I started programming, I opened Python, I go to the MS-DOS, I download a library, I pip install something, and then I just don't find it. It's saved in a different place, so the program is not seeing it. When you develop within an environment, you get rid of this problem. Anytime you are going to download the libraries, you systematically, when you import them within the program, the program is going to see them. I don't have any problems within the environment, and that's something that I intend to teach you, so that when you begin programming with Python, you go on the correct track and not try a lot before you reach the correct methods. And as you see already, Garen has a problem with installing Anaconda. So it is not all that simple. The way we are going to do with the session is straightforward. So you're going to see that the programs that you have are going to execute correctly. But when you want to download it on your computer, it is very important to understand how this works, so that when you want to begin choosing your own libraries and trying them out, you find a correct method. So the easiest way is to go for environments. Anybody has any question before we run out of the time?
Guys, feel free to ask questions. This time is for you. Benefit from the doctor's knowledge and experience to ask as much questions as you have, even if you're not sure. There's no such thing as a useless question, so don't be shy.
Okay, I have finished what I have. If you want, we can leave the session, or if you want to take a photo of the group.
Yes, if I would like you guys to open up your cameras so that we can take a group photograph at the end of the session. Thank you all for participating. This was very interesting. Thank you, Doctor, for this session.
You're most welcome.
Okay, so say cheese, everyone. Thank you a lot, everyone, for attending our 4th session. We can't wait to see you next week for the 5th session. Make sure to keep yourselves updated on our social media and keep checking your emails so that you don't miss our event announcement and the event details on the day of the event. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We are all available to help you, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.